Live on Facebook, on Zoom. I'm very excited about having my man Rocky Stubbs joining me today because they had an announcement earlier this year that me as a former tech guy that I was very excited about getting a tech accelerator. And I don't want to steal anything from Rocky because I want him to explain everything and what they're doing at Flagstar. So Rocky, go ahead and kick us off and introduce yourself, and let's get rocking and rolling.
Sure, man. First off, you're not a former tech guy. You're a current tech guy. You guys have like the hottest webcast in all of mortgage right now. So congratulations to you and Josh and everything you guys are doing. We're loving it. And yeah, thanks for reaching out. You know, we couldn't be more excited about what we're doing here for your viewership who doesn't know. About 3 months ago, we kicked off the Flagstar Mortgage Tech Accelerator. Which is the first tech accelerator in the United States to solely focus on the mortgage space. And so when I got to Flagstar 18 months ago, we started talking about, you know, kind of where we were going to position our digital lending channel and, you know, where we wanted to really be in the FinTech space. And Flagstar is really uniquely situated, right? We are one of the, obviously, top 5 mortgage lenders in the US. We're also a bank, but we're a much smaller bank. Right. So this was a question of, you know, how do we leverage kind of our resources and the breadth of our capability? We saw some really great emerging technologies, and we know how tough the mortgage space is for some of these guys doing amazing work on really, really innovative solutions to kind of get their MVPs over the line. You know, it's hard to get shelf space. We're all super busy. Yeah. And we're in one of those markets that it's incredibly heavily regulated, right? You're dealing with live customers with these major financial transactions. Some of these brilliant ideas and concepts and good development, they don't have places in the market to go and do their proof of concept. And some of them, and we see this in all forms of startups, right? You've got founders who maybe know the space and have great ideas, but they're new entrepreneurs. Yeah. They don't necessarily know the ropes around. So how do we get financing? How do we, you know, get exposure to more equity capital or backing? And this is where we said, look, I mean, we are mortgage first and foremost, no question. Our DNA at Flagstar is mortgage, but we bring together all those components of a bank that, you know, a lot of others don't. And, you know, some of the bigger players, you know, I won't mention anybody by name, but it's hard for the little guy to get attention of some of the large, you know, mortgage players who are also banks as well. Gotcha. So we knew we fit kind of in that niche, like right in the middle there. So we decided to start this program, not really knowing what the level of appetite would be. And I can just tell you, we were completely blown away by how much interest that there was in this program. We got over 24 applicants, you know, who kind of came toward us, and a bunch more who wanted to learn more about the program, maybe weren't ready for it. But these are people who I think would have qualified for it. Going out, it's our first go around at this, so we wanted to have kind of a small cohort of companies who are kind of right in the sweet spot. You know, not, you know, beyond their proof of concept phase, but they're not fully scaled, or if they are scaling, they're kind of at a plateau that they really need some support. We look at the depth and breadth of capabilities that we can bring in, whether that's access to equity capital, access to financing, access to sandbox environments to do, you know, meaningful proof of concepts, possibly even as a customer. It's good for us. I mean, there's this piece of, certainly we want to do things that are going to benefit the entire industry, but you know, this is giving us an amazing first look. Oh yeah. A whole bunch of technologies. It's so, I mean, we have an advantage of this, but it's not embedded in the program. There's nothing in the program where they're committed to doing any type of business with Flagstar, or whether they have to give up a piece of equity or they have to do business. They can go completely through the program, benefit from, you know, what we're bringing to the table in mentorship and kind of coaching. They can get all the way through. We never do business together. Our goal, this is in part our contribution to the industry. We want to be just a part of it. There's a lot of people like carrying the water here for all of us. And listen, think through the last 4 years, how far we've come. When we talked about this, we were in the same place 4 years ago. Think of how far we've come.
Yeah.
That's because there are a lot of people working on that, partnering with, smaller organizations to get them where they are today. We're reaping the benefits of that. We think that everyone should be contributing to that in whichever way they can. Not everybody's a Flagstar, but wherever you can, you should be contributing to the future of the industry in some way, into the customer experience, into easing the value chain, whatever pieces of that are. And this is kind of our way of getting out there.
Yeah, and that's awesome. It's when this was first announced and I saw that, I was like, that is just so freaking smart. Like, and honestly, I'm like, and I was trying to think, I'm like, I wonder if anyone else has done that and I just missed it or not. But it's like literally like no one else does this. And there's a reason why tech accelerators exist in other industries, because there is a huge benefit. Absolutely, you get a first look at a lot of this stuff, which is great. And that's cool that, you're creating that sandbox and mentorship and everything else for them to succeed as a company, get that first look, but also not requiring them to say, hey, that, it's only like available to Flagstar for the first 12 months or something like that, to really as a give back to the industry. And I hope people that are watching, take note and saying like, this is something that to me it should have been done a long time ago in our industry. So it's awesome to see you guys pick up the mantle and go with this. But let me ask you this,
Sure.
On top, I'm sorry, good. You have some?
No, I was just going to say, thank you for that. And so it was in part us recognizing our unique market position, but I want to be really emphatic. The goal of this is not to be like, hey, we're Flagstar. We got out and did this really great thing. It's to deliver another model into the industry that we hope will catch on. I would love nothing more than if, a year from now, 2 years from now, there's 5 FinTech accelerators being sponsored by lenders and monolines and catches on. Or, as we even mature in this process, perhaps, there's opportunity, and we've thought about this, maybe we can invite other partners to the table. This is not, in no way is this something we just want to do as an exclusive thing. If we get to the end of this and there are other lenders who are interested in partnering with us and they say, hey, this is great. Can we get in on this with you and also provide, we're willing to commit some mentorship and thought leadership and coaching to these guys, and we can put that under one umbrella. That would be a win. That would be a win. So it's trying to attract more into this area, because I think, like I said, we're all going to benefit. Ultimately, the consumer is going to benefit from it. So hopefully it catches on. And to your point, I think it is the first one, but I hope it's not the only one as we're coming into. Welcome as many people into this area as can. We don't have the monopoly on good ideas. There needs to be a lot more money in this space, taking good bets on some of the emerging technologies. We saw, this was so cool. We saw some stuff came out of the woodwork. I can't talk about it here yet, but I know we will. Things that was not on our radar at all. Yeah, I'm very excited about the future of our industry. Now there's a long road. They actually have to go through, and there's a really high bar here. But the idea that some of these technologies will come online and be available for all of us to use, on order of 1 to 3 years, just it really gets me pumped. Yeah, no, and just to echo what you said, that is important. Like, as an industry, we need more collaboration. Obviously, that's something that's big on for Shred, is unifying the industry through collaboration. It's what we need as a narrative, not just on marketing and messaging, but in technology. Well, this is something that we need to do. I hope other lenders will either partner with you, do their own thing, but this is something we need as a whole, because we want to have the ability to work with FinTech to build a better industry for the consumer, evolve what we've been doing long term. I want to give a shout out to Clayton Collins, Michelle Rodriguez, Corey, Tom, Brian View, those that have joined live, looking at, listening to this, because I think it's important. One question I wanted to ask you is, on top of what you're doing for mentorship, doing for Sandbox, giving an environment, is there some angel investment or private equity involved in regards to, like, if those entrepreneurs are looking for seed funding down the road, are they involved in this process as well? Awesome question. And so the answer is let me back up one level. So what we decided to do, instead of doing this 100% on our own, which is kind of where we started, we decided it would be good for us to partner, get a partner, not just in the mortgage space, but broadly. And so we partnered with an international group called the FinTech Consortium, who have done these kind of startup accelerators all across the world. They have 2 in the US. We just opened this one in Detroit, in Tech Town. We also just opened one up in the Bay Area, which we're also a part of. And we're going to be doing more over there as well. But they've been at this for a long time. And so structurally, this is one of the things you want the first one to be great, right? Yeah. And so in one sense, we're new to it as an organization. It's the first one. No one's ever done this before. Yeah. We know we're bringing our expertise and all of our resources to bear, as it were. And again, it's one of the great parts about being a regional bank is that we are able to be a little bit more entrepreneurial in our thinking and in our investments. So we have taken equity positions and are able to do that. Yeah. But again, I want to go back. It's not a requirement of the cohort, and it's not the ultimate goal of the cohort. Yeah. We want to say, look, as a bank, we're here. We can bring the expertise and the depth and breadth of that in our industry to bear here. But as a bank, we are able to do equity investments. We're able to do financing and commercial banking and all of those other pieces. So they're there and available, but it's more of an offering, if anything. And so going back, it's part of why we partnered with the FinTech Consortium, because with them, and in addition to the resources we have, the answer to your question is absolutely yes. So, you almost might think of it Shark Tank style. If to the extent that these groups that we're working with, if equity investments or if they're in a serious round is something that they need, rather than them trying to go out and gain credibility with a bunch of, VC firms and have to really pound the pavement, we have the wherewithal between Flagstar and the FinTech Consortium to bring all of those together and make that kind of a consolidated pitch and offering, get them exposure to a lot of different investors at one time. And yes, that is a part of the program to the extent that that's what the startup desires, right? Gotcha. If they're happy and they're good, they're not looking for that, then it's not a part of the program. We never want it to feel like, hey, it's here so that a bunch of people can kind of get a look and try to muscle their way in on an investment. It's really just, do you want this? And if so, we have the structure in order to set that up for them. But it is a meaningful part of what we're doing.
Awesome. And so before we get into, I want to learn a little bit about the companies that you guys chose to be part of the Accelerator. Tell me about FinTech Bay and that partnership and how and just basically the details on that.
Sure. So it's another site. It's with the FinTech Consortium. We did a similar partnership. We decided, and since we were already, we're very, very committed to Detroit. Flagstar has been a Detroit-based company since its founding in the 80s. Yep. And there's a massive amount of tech talent there. So what we're going to do with them, likely for this first round, is we're going to continue with the Accelerator and Incubator program as a Detroit-based program, at least for this first one. And then we're going to kind of do more hackathon style. We're going to likely do something we're going to call the Flagstar FinTech Challenge. And instead of saying, hey, you come to us with whatever you have, we're going to use the Bay and leverage the talent in that area to really say, hey, here's some really interesting problems that we as an industry are challenged in solving, right? We've got some serious Rubik's Cubes out there. Yeah. You and I have talked about some of them. I've talked with others, and that won't just even be something that we're not just going to make that up and pull that out of the air. We'll kind of calibrate with some other partners, and I think we do a pretty good job of that. And say, hey, what's a challenge or two we can take every X months or whatever, put it out there, some really creative minds, wide distribution of that talent, serving a whole bunch of industries. Who knows where the solutions are going to come from? Think about where some of the solutions have come from that are now in mortgage. They originated in consumer finance. They originated in insurance. They originated in the auto business, or maybe not even from here. There's some really good guys pushing on our thinking. So that's how we're going to do the Bay now. But I do see us also, we'll get through this first cohort. It's going to be a 6 to 12 month program. Don't be surprised if, as we're coming back around and we're doing this webinar again live next year, if I'm sitting, and I've got, the Bay Bridge behind me.
Hey, Lehigh, Utah. I'm just saying, Silicon Slopes. There's a lot of companies being started here. Just letting you know.
Winter time for sure. I'm there.
Just let you know. So let's get into a little bit of the companies that were chosen for the Accelerator, and tell us a little bit about this.
So 3 companies for this first cohort. I'm excited about each of them. I'll just give you a little blurb. We're gonna do a formal launch on September 12th. We're going to do it from TechTown at the Incubator Accelerator, and we will hopefully come back with you guys, or even do a webinar to do something recorded. I'd love for you guys to hear straight from the horse's mouth. So consider this today just kind of a teaser reel. So the 3 that we've selected for our first cohort are a company called Brace. Brace has a really good angle and lens on vacation space. The most analogous I think I could get, just for our colleagues and partners, it's kind of like a blend POS style system, but it's not something that's borrowed and patched up for another use case. It was built up organically, bottoms up, thinking about the distressed customer in mind, and how do we what do we do? How do we build out that structure so it's thoughtful for them? And so they're at a really, really neat place in their evolution. Again, a lot of this, when we selected those companies from the cohort, it wasn't just a question of, are they in the right place? Is the marriage between what they need and what we can bring the one that's most likely to turbocharge the agenda? We saw some really cool stuff where we said, like, hey, you guys are in the right place, but not there, to go on rapid acceleration. Like, hey, let's actually do just maybe even some personal stuff. And we'll probably, I think, individually, Coach, I know I will at least one kind of take as a side project. And then a year from now, we're coming around cohort 2, they very well might be in the second cohort. So it was a good marriage of that. We've got a great default team. We've got some great deep subject matter expertise there, and Courtney Thompson and some others. And so we're going to be working with them on their program. Second one is Boost AI. They are a Norway-based company, so they're an international. They've got an incredible set of AI tools that they've been training over the years that have application in multiple industries. But they're a relatively, newcomer to the U.S. and we're going to be working with them on kind of what areas of the mortgage value chain that these tools that they've built can best be kind of deployed to. And we have some really good ideas about how we're going to be able to partner with them, and again, ultimately deliver these things back into the industry. The goal is, it's why we're being so public about it from kind of day one. The goal is to get to the end of this thing and almost have a broad customer pitch, whether that's at one of the tech conferences or elsewhere. Is this is what we worked on. Here's the product, and hey, it's available for everybody. There's no secret sauce. Like, let's get it out. Let's get the consumers benefiting from this. And the last one is probably, arguably, I think the most well-known in our space, is Home Captain. Home Captain has been around for a while. Those of you who are watching, you guys know Grant Moon, terrific guy. They have a great team over there. And they're, again, pretty well established. They've got some good things already happening, but the stuff that's on their 6 to 12-month roadmap and where they really want to take this thing is phenomenal. I think it's going to be, I think they're poised really well in the industry to do it. And just with the right level of support and collaboration, I think we're going to be able to get them in 6 to 12 months time where perhaps would have taken, on order of 2 or 3 years. So, bringing more intelligence into the platform. They've got really, really capable search tools. They've got an amazing realtor network that's growing, and a good staple of customers that are already there. If they achieve what we're planning to work with them on in the next 6 to 12 months, I think it's going to catapult them to the front of this space in terms of just preferred vendors for search and realtor matching.
Awesome. So that sounds exciting, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. Definitely. I know we probably aren't going to be able to swing it to be up there on the 12th, like we were hoping to be there and check that out. But definitely, I know it's just, everything's cutting too close, but at the
Too
same
much
time.
business is a good problem to have, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. But even though, just to be honest with you, and of course I'll probably catch some flack with this, yours is probably something that I'm more interested in than the other thing that I'm doing. So just to let you know, we're not going to get into specifics. I'm just saying this would have been something that I personally would have been geeked all out to be a part of, and looking for. I mean, we'll definitely hook up and do some more stuff later. For those that are want more information, or maybe want to get involved, or at least talk to you about like the future, or maybe it's other lenders or whatever. Where how do they get in touch with you? How do they find out more information? I don't know what there is at this point, if anything, but if it's in as this grows and gets more attention and more things and stuff pops up, where would they go to get more info?
So we have a dedicated landing site for that, which I will, when we repost this, we'll put them all in the links in the bottom. So the Flagstar FinTech Accelerator, we've got our own landing site. There is an application form there. We'll probably do it in an ongoing application model. So, for anyone who's watching, everyone who's thinking like, oh my God, I need to tell so-and-so about this because they could really benefit from this program. It's going to be like a rolling admissions process. We'll do the cohorts kind of structured, but it will be on an always on review. We think that that's the best way to continue to do this. So you can get more information about it there. We'll publish information about the cohorts and milestones of progress. Our goal is to be really transparent also about what we're doing. It's not let's get started, let's get to the end, and hey, let's see how great we were. I think if we share our learnings, that's where we're willing to be a little bit more open and transparent. We're going to kind of share along the way, and hopefully that'll be part of the encouragement of getting some other people into this and say, hey, everything doesn't have to be perfect the first go around. It might ebb and flow a little bit. There might be some mistakes made, which I'd be glad to kind of come out and say, hey, here's some lessons we learned from the first cohort. Don't do this.
Yeah.
And, if we do this together, I feel like, in the tech stack that we're building here at Flagstar now, so much different from what we did at Capital One, where so much was organic. We're stitching some really, really great tools together that play really well together. I feel like I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. People have come here, they've done some great work. We're just kind of getting into the fray on this thing to do the same. So hopefully that's the legacy of this thing that we're coming back to. People will look at these companies that are around now serving the industry really well and say, hey, we got here because, Flagstar wanted to take a risk and, put some money in front of this, put some thought in front of this. But anyone who's interested in collaborating on the program, anybody who's interested in more information, for the time being, there'll be the link there. But I'm easy to find, guys. You can catch me on LinkedIn. You can email me at rocky.stubbs@flagstar.com.
Yeah. And just to remind you guys, you have to catch them on LinkedIn because it's not going to be Facebook. I tried. It's going to be LinkedIn but at the same time, that's the spot, right? Next to Facebook, because I do a lot there. LinkedIn is probably one of my most favorite platforms. So love doing a lot of stuff there. I want everyone to just focus on a couple things that Rocky said, and that's about the collaboration. And where we feel something that we've talked a lot about at Shred is that, look, in this industry, in our industry, right? Not talking about FinTech is FinTech. I'm not talking about FinTech lenders, ones that are trying to do a different model and saying our model is bullshit, right? I'm talking about FinTech that is going to be integrated into our model, and we are going to be able to help and collaborate and create the next evolution of this industry. And that's what Flagstar is doing. So I highly recommend those to think about that, is that it's better to be part of the process as opposed to dealing with what's given to you at the end, right? And so kudos to you, Rocky. Kudos to Flagstar and everyone else that's partnering on this. This is something that's long overdue. I am super excited to see what comes out of this. I'm super excited to see how this grows and becomes. I think now that you're actually putting your flag in the ground and doing it in the industry, I'm excited to see other people either do it themselves or come and collaborate with you guys. But this is what's needed in the industry. We need to be part of the process. And so far we've been just happy enough to let others do stuff, and then we'll just accept that. Like, we need to be part of the process. So I'm loving to see what you guys are doing over there.
Thank you. We're grateful for the support and what you're doing to help, awareness for this, but if I could just echo the same thing back, what you and Josh are doing right now out there is giving us a whole other platform and another avenue to start sharing this stuff. So, you guys are carrying the water here too. So it goes back to you guys as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, hey, everyone, you guys, I will throw the links. Rocky's going to give them to me. I will throw those in the links here. I'm going to also repurpose this video and throw it on LinkedIn as well for those that didn't get to catch the live here. But I want to, again, give thanks to Rocky for taking time out to talk about this. Thanks to Flagstar for everything that they're doing to make this industry better, and any other lenders and loan officer, anyone that's part of this industry that's actually decided to look themselves in the mirror saying, hey, we need to do things different. Definitely a shout out to you guys as well. And we'll definitely be keeping in touch, Rocky, and be a part of anything that we can do as Shred to help with you and Flagstar with what you guys are doing with this. Just let us know. We'll be happy to do.
You guys are awesome. All right, keep crushing it. Take care.
All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us live. This is the end of that. And we'll, of course, be coming back later on in the next week. We're going to create WOW next week. We'll do some cool stuff there. But thanks again for joining us live. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day and the rest of your week. Take care. Perfect.